Right.
Hey, Robyn. We've been open for 2 years now. How's your life changed since you've been doing the energy system?
I've been wanting to tell everybody about this. I even made a little list because there's times that I'm at home and I'm thinking about all these things that I can do now that I couldn't do before. And when we first met, I don't know if you even noticed, but I used to have a little bit of a limp. I couldn't do stairs with both feet. It was 1 foot, up.
I didn't know that.
Yes, yep. And I tried to hide it a lot, and sometimes I'd limp down the hallway because my hip would lock up. But I think the first thing that I got from the energy room was mental clarity, and I realized it when I was actually standing in my kitchen at home. I realized it one day that I was not plummeting in the afternoon, and I was able to focus again, and I knew it was a direct result of when the machines came on and I was in there. My ability to focus. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. And I made a point of starting to schedule my 2 hours in the room at that point, where I was getting in for 2 hours, at least 2 hours a week when I could. And that happened probably within the first 4 to 6 sessions. I was out of pain. So being a hygienist for 29 years, I had pain in my arms that I had to sleep in a certain way in my bed with a towel under my neck, my arms over pillows, and my legs. I could never sleep on my side or roll. It was always on my back. And I would still feel lightning pain. And I remember sometimes I would cry because I thought, is this how life is going to be at this age?
I felt the exact same way, and I had pillows propped everywhere, and I couldn't sleep on my side either because of my shoulders.
Yes.
So we've had a similar result.
Yeah, not to mention having to take Advil all the time or ibuprofen, right? And so it wasn't too long into the sessions that my pain was gone. It happened for my husband also, but I'm going to let him come and tell his story. A few months in, I was in the energy room and I felt a little bit of tingling behind my nose. And I didn't know what was going on. I had felt the field sometimes before, but I never actually felt tingling in a certain part of my body before. But it was behind my nose, and I didn't think about what could be happening. But since then, I've not taken Claritin D. I used to live on Claritin D living in Florida. You have the allergies, and mine were terrible. I'm free of that now. Tingling. After that, I had a tingling. I'm crying because because this is so true, and I've got my life back. So tingling around my hips was next, and my hip didn't lock up anymore, and so I literally can walk normal. I actually, when I walk and exercise, I can actually jog now, and that brings me to the next thing. About 7 to 9 months in, something took place that I didn't expect, and I've heard other members also talk about it. My body began to crave good foods. And there was nothing else in my life that I could attribute that to except the energy room. And it wasn't that I knew I needed to change over to better foods. My body was craving better foods. I've never experienced that in my life. And so my husband and I have been walking that path and trying to improve those things. And my body feels so much better since. Another amazing thing, my desire for coffee, that I was severely addicted to coffee, gone. And it was almost instantaneous. I don't know what brought it on. That was in that 7 to 9 months. And I began to experiment with herbal teas, not because I wanted any type of caffeine, but I just heard they were good for you. And they do. They're very hydrating. I'm not addicted to herbal teas in any way, but I do enjoy them periodically, and it's better for my body. But I am done with coffee. In these 2 years, I have improved strength, and I wasn't working out. My strength improved before I started working out. Working out is a whole nother story that I'm going to tell next. But we have a puppy pool for our dogs, and it was awful to have to pick up that puppy pool and tried, and I literally wouldn't even put that much water in it because it was so hard. But even with not that much water, I could not hardly pick that up to empty it. And then one day I went out there and I just emptied it, and I knew that I was getting stronger. I was watching TV and I found myself in the middle of the living room, and I'm doing leg lifts, and I'm doing, exercises, and I hate that word exercise, but my body just needed to move. And I started walking again, and like I said earlier, I actually run. I can get bit by a mosquito or something, and it's like within minutes, it's gone.
Huh.
So my body's immune system, I think, is really kicked into high gear. I highly recommend overnights. I've done some overnights in these past couple years. I'm trying to get in weekly for my 2 hours. I have that heavy burden of life has lifted, and I have the desire and energy to do things that I haven't done in years. And I no longer sleep with all the pills. I can sleep comfortably now. So
I have to say that, when we first met, there was a connection between us, right? For some reason, it was like we were a lot alike, although, we never knew each other before. And I mean, I've had a similar experience because I was always in pain. I thought I was never going to get my life back. I had tried everything. And, this over time has been so amazing because I don't have any pain and I can do sit-ups. Like, I could never do one sit-up a couple years ago. Now I can do like 20 sit-ups.
Yes.
I can do planks for like 45 seconds to a minute.
Yes.
And I really don't do that on a regular basis, but
you can.
But I can.
And there's a desire for exercise. Like, there's a time where we feel like, okay, we need to move our body now, Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm experiencing the same.
So those of you who've been listening to this conversation, I just wanted to say that, we are from Regeneration Station.
Yep.
And we're the original two people that started working together a little over 2 years ago to try to put this center together. And we have experienced amazing results in our life. And I have to say, not just physical, but mental clarity, but it's even more than mental clarity. It's just, it's peace. It's the ability to get along with other people and not overreact a little bit. They're just little things that you don't really even think about every day, but it makes such a difference. And I was a Navy nurse, and then I had a real estate company, and I had stress all my life. And now I'm at peace and I don't have a lot of stress at all. It's just amazing that we're able to run this center and help other people while we're also helping ourselves.